to challenge us. Our world today is full of many men, women, young people without a sense of vision, without a sense of direction, and without a sense of destiny. It used to be very old and elderly people who would have diseases like high blood pressure and would even think of committing suicide. But right now, the rate of suicide among young people and the rate of diseases like high blood pressure is on the increase. And it only goes to show that something is wrong. The average young man seems to be discouraged about life, discouraged about God, discouraged about destiny. And I think it is very, very important that at platforms like this, that we have an opportunity to hear God speak to us and speak to our destinies. And so tonight I want to share very briefly on the topic I titled The Price for Uncommon Impact. Please write it down. The price for uncommon impact. What is responsible for the mighty impact that a handful of people make in their generation? What is responsible for certain names today that have become keys? You mention that name, a door can open for you. What is responsible for the names that have etched themselves in the archives of history? When we read through scripture, we find names. Everyone please say names. Would you shout it one more time? Say names. Yes, thank you. There are names that never made it in the Bible, but were there when Jesus walked the earth. There are names that never made it in our history books, but they were alive when history was being made. There are names that we do not know, yet they existed. So what is the secret and what is the price? If you pay attention to that which I teach you tonight, it's impossible for your generation to ignore you. Are we together? Now, the challenge many times is that we claim influence, we claim impact, we claim a life of purpose and a life of destiny, but we do not understand the methodologies, the prescribed pathway that can take a man from a life of mediocrity and failure and pain to a life where you become the face of God to a generation. What I am teaching you is very powerful. Please hear me. Every generation needs a face that represents the face of God to them. Every generation needs a voice that represents the voice of God to them. Every generation needs men that represent pillars that guide the values of that society. And when a generation loses men and women that represent God, that generation is in trouble. Respectfully so, in the generation of our parents, we have great people like the founders and the leaders of this great assembly, Foursquare. I had the privilege, permit me to just use that example, to pass through the redemption camp before coming, and I had the honor of being guided to a tour around Adeboye's house, and I had the privilege to pray on his bed, pray in his prayer room before coming right here. And I began to talk to myself and I said, that was not the only man born in his days. So what happened to the rest? It's a terrible thing to watch television and watch your future, but you are not there. You watch other people, you aspired like them. We will get there. Oh, it's a bright future, and never have the opportunity to go there. You know, years ago, I used to have a lot of colleagues and friends, wonderful people who aspired for a great destiny. Some of them today are in prisons, truthfully speaking. Some of them are alive, but not living. Some of them are scattered around, wallowing in mediocrity. And so I came tonight with a passion to truly show you a pathway by the Spirit of God within a few minutes. And then to also pray that God will grant knowledge and then grant you the grace that can shift you from where you are to the place of destiny. Listen to me. There are many of you under the sound of my voice. You are the prayer of your mother. You are the prayer of your father. Prophecy brought you, not desire. There was a man sent from God. Sent from God.